Hello friends, welcome here. It is a new year and I'm so excited to be back filming again. It is so nice. Another thing that I'm very happy about being back, crimped hair. I love it. It's such a Hermione Granger season 1 kind of vibe. Just to preface, I've never really been a big New Year's resolutions person. I just find that I love continual reflection, day-to-day reflection, and day-to-day changes. I find that an annual big New Year change never really suited my style, and I never really got those big revelations, those big ideas at the New Year. Until this year, and I don't know if it was just because 2020 was so chaotic and wild, I don't know, but this year there were so many revelations at the end of the year. Of course, we had a low-key New Year's. It was just me and Dame and Bauer, of course. He's actually just in the background, but it was just us for New Year's, and we just had this huge New Year's of growth, and I thought that I would share that with you here. So let's get into this video, which is 5 lessons I've learned from 2020 or last year. The first lesson I want to share with you today is to practice gratitude. Now, there is nothing like having a lot of things taken away from you or seeing a lot of things taken away from other people around the world that makes you really want to pick up gratitude and just to start being thankful for what you do have. Hence why I started practicing it. At first, when I was getting into the idea of practicing gratitude, I thought it would be a hard habit to pick up. I thought it'd be challenging. I would just drop it as soon as I picked it up, and I was kind of discouraged before I even began. I thought the easiest way for me to do this, and maybe the most consistent way for me to do this, was to simply put a little folder in my notes that just says gratitude. And all I do is I open that note and I just put 3 things I am grateful for at least a day. I'll just write, I am grateful for the snow. I am grateful for you guys. I am grateful for books. I've literally put I am grateful for bananas down there. It's just the smallest things, but also the deeper, more intimate, more meaningful things as well that I probably won't share here right now. But anyway, I find that is the easiest way because I typically have my phone on me most of the time, and it's just easy to pull out, or if you don't feel like putting it in your phone, you can just think of it. If thinking isn't your thing and you need to write it down physically, maybe buy yourself a new notebook, something that you think is really pretty and you really want to keep with you all the time. So after this habit was fully in my life, I started to really notice changes. I found that my perspective was more positive. I was definitely happier. I was definitely more easygoing. I was more accepting of general things. I was just completely the glass half full kind of gal at this point. The whole tempo of my life shifted to a more slower, a more balanced tempo, and I'm so thankful for it. Now you see there's nothing fancy to it, and honestly it's been a big improvement for my anxiety. I really recommend just trying it out, just trying it on your phone, maybe just thinking about it today, maybe trying 3 things that you're grateful for. If you go on my Instagram, I normally do post 3 things I'm grateful for. We can do it together there. Now let's move on. The second lesson I want to share with you is to be intentional with your time. Time was something I felt like I had an abundance of this year, just an insurmountable amount that I was not used to. And if I'm being completely honest, I did not make the best or most of my time. And there's a lot of Netflix, a lot of binge watching, a lot of scrolling on Instagram, Pinterest, just a lot of not being intentional or mindful. And I had a lot of regrets about what I was doing with my time. So I've learned that regrets are really just lessons cast in a shady light. You can either choose to ignore them because they're kind of shady and you don't want to look at them, or you can decide to take the shade off of it and look at it as just a lesson. That's what I decided to do here. Instead of regretting all my time on Netflix, I turned it over to be more intentional with my time, and that's what I decided to go with. Now, I'll definitely tell you how I decided to be more intentional with my time, because yes, it sounds great as a theory, but how does one actually become more intentional with their time? How I started to do this was by getting out my trusty dusty planners. And I say planners because I do have at least like 3 planners that I use daily, 4 actually, daily. And it really helped me get organized. Now, at first I didn't have 4 planners, I just had the one, and I started using it every single day. I would make a list of everything I wanted to get done, of the top priorities, and then when that started happening every day, I started to make a weekly list. And then when that list started to get done, I started to make a spare time list. And whenever I had spare time, I had a list of things that I had always been wanting to do, always been wanting to try or get done. And so when I have that time and I don't feel like I need a rest, because yes, rest and having rest is being intentional with your time as well. Make sure you get that in. Don't just go from task to task to task. But planning out your time is a way that you'll find you'll have more time and you are getting more done, which kind of sounds inconceivable or kind of backwards because you're doing more, but because you're being more intentional with that time, you're not scrolling on Instagram, you know which task you have to do next and you're just gonna get on to it. And you maybe have scheduled some self-care time for yourself later, so you're not worried that you don't have any relaxation time in the day. You set that intention, you plan for it to happen. The amount of things you get done and the amount of time you have will be a whole shift in perspective in itself. I definitely felt that I was being more respectful towards myself. I was honoring myself because I was being more respectful of my time. This is my time and I'm going to do the best that I can with it, and I want to be intentional with it. I felt when I was giving myself that and when I was respecting that wish, that notion, I was feeling so much better about myself, so much more positive. And I really, really hope you give it a try. Now let's get on to the next lesson. We're gonna take a little water break. All right, let's go. The third lesson I have for you is to embrace the little things or to practice hygge. When I think of pure happiness, just easily happy, just serotonin boosting, I think of trees everywhere and beautiful exotic flowers and beaches and warm weather and warm water. But I live in a northern country, so that's kind of a problem. When I'm looking at the happiest people in the world, a lot of the places that are the happiest places to live are Nordic countries. And honestly, that gave me some semblance that everything was gonna be okay, that I still had a shot, that I didn't have to be sad of the winter all the time. So I thought that I would follow in the Danes' footsteps and try to practice hygge. I could definitely make a whole other video all about hygge, but I will just give you a couple little snippets, kind of the hygge manifesto. There are 10 aspects in the hygge manifesto, so I will try and get through this quickly. The first one is lights or atmosphere. The Danes love their candles, so much so that the Danish word for candle translates in English to living lights, which is just beautiful. This country has such a heavy emphasis on candles. I want to live there. Before you're thinking, oh my goodness, I can't have candles in my apartment, I can't light candles everywhere, this is a bust. Hold on. When we're talking about candles, we're really talking about the glow of the candles. When we're thinking of this warm light, we think of beautiful sun that we get outside. In places like the Netherlands or Denmark, we have this issue where in the winter, our sun leaves us at 4:30, which is wild, and it doesn't come back until around 8:30 in the morning. That's a lot of time with no sun. So having this softer, more warm light is kind of like we're bringing the sun inside. I'll go through the next couple quickly. The next one being presence. It is to be there, be here, be now. Turn off your phone mostly. Turn off the TV, turn off all distractions. The next one is equality. This is we over me. This is our time to share. The next one is together. This builds relationships and narratives. You want to create stronger bonds and invest in love. The next one is pleasure. This is all about food and drink. Note that this is pleasure, not to be confused with gluttony, which is when you're just absolutely consuming everything until you are jam-packed. The next is gratitude. I already told you about this one, so we'll go by it. The next is comfort. Do whatever makes you relax, like cuddling under a big fluffy blanket or pulling on some wool socks, crawling into bed after a long day. This is when you feel your blood pressure level out and everything is at ease. The next one is harmony. This is the thought that there is no competition. Everyone here atmosphere is friendly. You can count on every single person there not to cause you any strife or discomfort. The next is truce. This kind of goes along with harmony, but this is there is no drama, there is no debate. We will put it aside for now while we are practicing our hygge. The final one is shelter. This is your tribe. This is your space. It is your space of security. It is your space of peace. So again, if hygge is too far-fetched for you to practice, then maybe just pick a couple off that list that I just went through and hone into a couple there. Just try and practice them a little bit, because when we do start to notice the happiness all around us, the simple happiness all around us, we start to see that there is happiness everywhere. It's like this huge positive domino effect. The fourth lesson I want to share with you today is to treat your personal development like professional development. So this past spring, I did just graduate with my education degree, and a big thing that I noticed was how important professional development was. If you're still in high school or a university, this may not totally ring home to you, but just wait, I have a comparison. Hello, Editing Liv here. I just wanted to hop in because I feel like I can give a better, shorter explanation than I originally had. So try and think of not believing in professional development as the teacher that refuses to update the course syllabus, the content, the relevance. Everything is pretty dated, keeps using the overhead projector and the roll-in VHS TV machine pretty irrelevant at this point, versus having the teacher that updates the course syllabus, the course content, is looking in the news, what's relevant to you, what's connecting to you, and really trying to use all the current technology. Also, yes, we are trying out a middle part. I think I like it. We might keep it. Now you may proceed with the video. I decided to start looking at myself like this. Why did we stop developing after we hit 18? We decided that we're all grown up, we don't need to learn anything else, we just need to go pursue our careers, our professional passions. That's not the case, or that shouldn't be the case. Sophia Bush has a wonderful podcast. I highly recommend it. I will link it down below. Her big idea is that we are a masterpiece. Who you are, your life, what you've created is a masterpiece. We pay homage to that, but you are still a work in progress. The work in progress will always be going on, and we are always becoming new things. We are always growing. We always have the opportunity to try to become, to try to progress, to try and develop. We just need to go out there and take advantage of all the knowledge out there. A big thing that I do like to do is I read my professional development books and I will journal alongside with it. I do have an entirely different journal. It's smaller, it's just a little more compact, it's more a lot of ideas, and sometimes I'll jot quotes down there. You do not have to do this if you just like to read professional development books, or if professional development books are not your forte, podcasts about better living or something that you're interested in or something that you want to be better at, you want to progress in, you want to develop more towards. Find a podcast, find a book, find a blog, find a YouTube video, find something that makes you excited to be better. We made it to lesson number 5, and I'm very glad because my son is leaving as I speak, so we'll try and get through this quickly. The lesson is just keep swimming. Yes, I did take that little line from Finding Nemo, but there's much more anchored into it, as you'll see. I was listening to Kaylin's Coffee Talks, and I will link those down below because I love her podcast, love her YouTube video, basically just love her. She was talking in this podcast about running. She's a runner, and she was talking about running into the wind particularly. It was a gross day, it wasn't that nice, and the wind was pushing into her, and she had this thought that there are really two options. She could keep going, or she could stop. That's it. For this metaphor, we will kind of go into a more extreme version. You can either stop as soon as you're done. You're tired, it hurts, the wind's too much, it's too challenging, it's just too much. So you stop, you sit on the ground, and you decide that you are done. You are going to get cold, you are probably going to get sick, and you will probably have some regrets. Or you can keep going. Now, this doesn't mean, yes, keep running, run as hard as you can, because sometimes that's how you're gonna hurt yourself. Yes, other times pushing yourself's good. Other times you need to do baby steps. You need to put one foot in front of the other and just walk home. That's fine. Putting this into the context of this year, we were challenged a lot. We were put through a lot of difficult situations, a lot of hard events. We were completely in a windstorm, blowing at us full on in the face. It was hard. It was really hard, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I did stop a couple times. I just stopped and I sat down and I let the wind just blow over me, and I got sick, and my mental health really struggled when I stopped. But when I decided that I was just gonna keep walking, not running, but just keep walking. Like when you are moving, you're building muscle in your legs, you're building resilience, you are building a deeper gratitude for yourself, you are building muscle in your calves, you are building a greater understanding of running. Just like that running metaphor, you are building a better resilience to life. You are building a better mental capacity. You are challenging yourself and you are making yourself come out more resilient. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to just keep on chugging along. This means that you just have to do baby steps to just keep yourself going. Just keep swimming, basically. In terms of this year, it was really just to try and have some semblance of normal, to work out, to keep trying to find new jobs because unemployment is real. These are all just challenges, also opportunities to show us how we can be resilient, how we can come out of this. And I'm going to encourage you, next time you feel challenged, just keep swimming, no matter how slow you go. I definitely learned a lot more this year, but I didn't want to make an hour-long video. But thank you so much for being here. I really hope that you could take some of my lessons and maybe incorporate it into your life, even if it's not a full lesson, just something that you heard, that you drew semblance from. I am so happy. I really just made this content for me, but also for you especially. So please let me know in the comments if you liked it, if there's something you want me to elaborate on, if there's some questions that you have. I am so curious. I love engaging with you guys. Please also make sure that you are subscribed. We are going to be having a lot more vlogs, especially. Those will tend to be sporadic uploads just because they are fun. So please make sure that you hit the bell notification button so you know when I upload, and you can also follow me on Instagram at live_better_, and I post and make stories all the time there. You get to see Dame, the dog, the cat, everybody, and I am so thankful again for you being here. I hope that you have a great day. Bye.